Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results and Superstar spoilers. First off, happy birthday goes to Just Incredible. Turned 42 years old. He was born October 16, 1973. He announced that he will be wrestling his last match on November 20th in a match against Tommy Dreamer for Pro Wrestling Syndicate at the Starland Ballroom. Tickets for the event can be purchased at bedofnails.com /pwstickets.html. Missy Hyatt turned 53. Rick Wilson, who wrestled under the name of the Renegade in WCW, was born October 16, 1965. He took his own life on February 23, 1999. October 17th, birthdays. Happy birthday to one-time WCW U.S. champion Steve Mongo McMichael, turned 58. Two-time NWA TV champion Baron Von Raschke turned 75. On the 18th, happy birthday to former WWF and WCW wrestler John Berserker Nord and WWE Spanish announcer Carlos Cabrera, both turned 55. NXT Tag Team Champion Simon Gotch turned 33 years old. And October 19th, Road Warrior Hawk, a.k.a. Mike Hegstrand, died of a heart attack. October 19, 2003, at the age of 47, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame, posthumously alongside with Legion of Doom member Animal, Joe Laurinaitis, and Paul Ellering. Happy birthday to UK legend Peter Kendo Nagasaki. Thornley turned 69, one-time AAA Reina de Reinas champion Mary Apache turned 36. One-time Shimmer champion Sweet Saraya Knight turned 44. And former WWF valet Mrs. Yamaguchi-san turned 40. Mike Graham, a.k.a. Michael Gossett, took his own life on October 19th, 2012. His father Eddie also took his own life in 1985. Many of another family that has taken their lives pro wrestling. If you didn't know, Von Erichs. Former pro wrestler John Nord, again, he turned, got his twice. October 18th, 1959 he was born. Christina Crawford turned 27 on Saturday. Her birthday was October 17th. She wrestled as Kaylee Turner in NXT. And as a younger sister of WWE diva Alicia Fox, as Christina became a cheerleader for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after she left WWE Developmental in 2012. And I think I got some pictures of both of them together. I'll try and post. Either side, whichever. Here's a new short film titled Bump, starring former TNA star and WWE star Lance Hoyt, Vance Archer, who was one half of the current GHC Tag Team Champions in Japan with Davey Boy Smith Jr., who recently got his new name, like his father, British Bulldog, patented. Again, catch that link there. NXT diva Jasmine Aribi is now going by the name of Aliyah. She appeared in a segment with Gianna Daddio at over the weekend's NXT live event in Cocoa Beach. Arabia was in news this summer after old controversial social media posts were found. As WWE and Ariba said the posts were made by someone else and she did not get in trouble. Tyler Breeze and Eric Rowan are in Dallas for Raw, as though the Breeze is expected to make his official main roster debut in the next few weeks. Rowan was replaced by his former tag team partner, Luke Harper, and rumor going around that he's taking some time off for personal reasons, but it's unconfirmed. Former NXT diva Zyra Schreiber, who was released due to racial social media posts on Twitter, makes her in-ring debut on November 7th for Dreamwave Wrestling promotion in LaSalle, Illinois. As noted, Zara is dating Current world heavyweight champion Seth Rollins. Dreamwave tweeted the following at DW Wrestling. Breaking the controversial at Zara Schreiber will be making her in-ring debut at hashtag Soft15 on November 11th in LaSalle, Illinois. And also showed a picture. NXT superstar Tyler Breeze is expected to make his main roster debut. As I got this news, possibly on the SmackDown tapings. Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Live that there are ideas planned for Breeze, and they have a new entrance video for him. And I got a picture of his possible debut with Summer Rae. Whichever side I can put it on. The WWE selling Breeze selfie sticks as well. Breeze is getting a new role. And Summer Rae is expected to get a new role with him, as she's no longer with Rusev. Unconfirmed rumors that Breeze and Summer will be paired up. Summer actually managed Breeze at WWE Live event from Raleigh, North Carolina back in May. He teamed with Heath Slater, but lost to Curtis Axel and Damien Sandow. And again, you can see it by the photo pic. And Tyler Breeze, I did get to see him at a live event from one of the Raw events here in Shreveport. Like I said, he's a resemblance of Christian. Both Christian York and Christian. Florida State Attorney Office has declined to prosecute TNA star Thomas Latimer, formerly of WWE Developmental as well, and the charges of domestic battery by strangulation and false imprisonment were dropped. Noted Bram was arrested on August 30th in Gulfport, Florida, after an incident with his girlfriend. Police wrote in their original report that Bram admitted holding his girlfriend by her throat and refusing to let her leave their bedroom, but he still pled not guilty. His attorney issued these comments to PW Insider today. Our office is pleased to announce that Mr. Latimer's case has been successfully resolved, resulting in a decision by the state's attorney's office whereby they have declined to prosecute our client on the aforementioned charges. Our office has always maintained that once the entirety of the facts, evidence, and witnesses' statements are brought forth, our client would be exonerated of the charges. Bram will be returning to TNA action soon, as the company suspended him until the issue was resolved. Well, if you didn't know, well, they've already did the taping, so I don't think he's on any of them. Well, we'll see what they do in the next set of tapings. Unknown, probably January. Jeff Hardy recently spoke with Daily Star to promote TNA's 2016 UK tour. Full interview. Probably on TNAWrestling.com. Current injury and having no time frame for return. He comments, I have a torn PCL, which is called posterior cruciate ligament, in my right knee and has been torn ever since I broke my tibia. They put a rod in my tibia. So after all the swelling went down, I knew there was something wrong with my knee. I finally went to the doctor and I finally had an MRI. I found that it was a torn PCL. I started physical therapy last week, and it's been really rough, and that it's going to work, and I can avoid surgery. Fingers crossed. And then he comments on what he's most focused on right now. My number one right now is getting better. I'm kind of afraid because my knee is so unstable. It's freaking me out a little. I'm not going to lie. Right now, I'm mostly concerned about getting better. This is the first serious injury I've had in my entire life. This is very new for me. I realize how much I love wrestling now because I miss it so bad. Just being at the shows and watching the guys go out there and go hard and have great matches, it just makes me feel kind of, well, I want to say weak. I know what it's like because I had so many friends who have dealt with surgical issues and have been out for long periods of time. Now I'm in that boat. I just want to get better and continue to help TNA improve. Comments on frustrations over TNA's lack of success. I just don't understand it, and I never will because I've watched so many TNA shows that are just great. Drew Galloway is awesome. I love watching him wrestle and cut promos. EC3 is right there. He's the top dog. Yeah, it's frustrating to wonder why and understand why it has not taken off like it rightfully should have. Sheamus will be appearing on Angela Scanlon's Close Encounter show in Ireland, which airs Tuesday at 10 p.m. on RTE2. And here's a preview. Here's a preview from the video. Interview from Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff, on the two-man power trip of wrestling podcast, hosted by John and Chad. Interview at tmptow.podomatic.com. Comments on what he's learned from working with Roddy Piper. Roddy actually was in the business longer than I was. It started sooner than I did. And Roddy was a smart guy. He used my body, and Roddy used a lot of his brains. I wish I could do interviews and do stuff like the way he did, and I really did. I tried to be like him when I did interviews, but I had that fire in my heart that I was one of those guys, those types of guys that whatever I did, I was going to do it better than anybody else and feel like I pretty much have done that in a lot of cases. Hulk Hogan, he comments on Hulk Hogan's current issues and their relationship. Let me tell you something right now. I don't care. I don't know what he did. When it comes down to him, I love him like a hated brother. We all have brothers that some of them we love and some of them we don't. But I don't hate him now for nothing. He made me and helped make me. I was more to him than he was to me. And I took him to a whole new level when it came to matches because he never had anybody that had the intensity and I had the body that I had. The rumor that he was a stand-in for Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, to be honest, I truly don't remember. I probably was. If you heard that, then it just depends where you heard it from and who started it. My memory isn't real good now because of the cancer and the chemo and the radiation. It messes with you. But I would have done whatever they wanted me to do. How hard he worked on the Mr. Wonderful physique. The good Lord gave me something and gave me intensity. He gave me a body and he gave me the work. And how hard I worked the body the way that it was. I went to the gym 6 days a week, 3 hours a day, and it was part and it was my life. It wasn't all about the money, and it was just what I was. One of the guys that was a gym rat, and a guy named Harry Smith in Tampa, Florida, is the one that got me in. And I used to train at his gym, and Harry took a liking to me in high school. I had pretty big name in high school from football and track and anything else I did. I worked out with him for 15 years, and I kept getting bigger and bigger. Working for Vince McMahon Sr. and Vince McMahon Jr., I worked for Vince Sr., Mr. McMahon, for 2 or 3 years, and then Vinny came in and just took off. He was and is so smart, and he loved the business too, and he knew how to treat people, and I had that kind of a personality. Vince McMahon helped make me, and I helped make him. Wanted to be part of the expansion of the WWF. Vince's father was a very smart man as well, but Vince Jr. was a whole new era. He took it to a whole new level, and I was part of it, and I went with it. I fought for it because I wanted to be a part of it because I knew that I was different than anybody else. There wasn't anyone like me at the time. There was nobody that with that kind of energy. And the aggressiveness and the body that I had. I could have been Mr. America if I wanted to be, but I chose wrestling. I could have played pro football, but I chose wrestling. The infamous WrestleMania 1 training vignette, Orndorff and Orton shoot on a bystander. It wasn't just a shoot. When I hit him, I hit him. He went down. It was planned. If it was planned, I didn't know about it. That was a whole different ball game back then, and it isn't like it is now. Now it's a joke. Did he like switching from a heel to a babyface? No, I like being a bad guy, but the people were cheering me being a bad guy. I am not bragging. It may sound like it, but there was nobody in the business that had the aggression and the body that I had. Nobody. To this day, there hasn't been one. This is one and only, and that's why I was the only one. I've seen guys that have the bodies, but they didn't have the ability because I was a worker. I worked every night. I'd go 25, 35, 45 minutes, and that is what made me. And that is I knew how to work, and I knew how to work the people. Now, there was in the end of his highlights, Adam Rose has another cryptic video, but can you decipher it? WWE has announced Neville, Cesaro, and Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev, Sheamus, and King Barrett as a replacement for the Hell in a Cell kickoff pre-show on Sunday. Due to the fact of Randy Orton being out of action, as well as Luke Harper, as Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper and Braun Strowman has been pulled due to the Orton being out of action. Michael Cole saw announced on Raw that Randy Orton is suffering from an injury that he had a couple weeks ago, and due to Raw last week, he's out. Cole said that Orton missed this week's live events in Mexico and was not at Raw. And then they teased the injury may have been caused by the Wyatt family. No word yet if it's just a storyline injury, but I'll keep you updated. As Dean Ambrose did say in a promo that the Wyatts got to Orton. Orton really was advertised for the tour of Mexico, but did not appear. Hulk Hogan's Beach restaurant in Tampa, Florida is still operating pending the sale of property that includes the Best Western Bay Harbor Hotel. According to TBO.com, the commercial relations consultant for the restaurant noted in the story that the bar restaurant, named after Hulk Hogan, is planning a name change. Hogan's Beach website has been shut down, though. Based on other news reports, the business will remain open, but it will not have Hogan's name attached to it. It's worth noting that Hogan merely licensed his name for the venue and never had ownership stake, but he supposedly still has his beach shop. Former WWE wrestler Dalip Singh, a.k.a. Great Khali, appeared at the TNA press conference in India on Monday and helped the company announce a 3-night stay. TNA will be running December 2nd through the 4th in Mumbai, India. The events include a show that will air live in India and broadcast around the world on December 4th. Official announcement on ImpactWrestling.com. A press release noted that Khali and TNA executive John Gabbert will lead a talent search, and Singh will be involved in a selection process and mentor the contenders. The live show is labeled as TNA One Night Only, again, which is the name of the taped TNA pay-per-view series. WWE, New York Stock Exchange, WWE, and the Texas Lottery today, early this morning, announced a partnership around WWE's pop culture extravaganza, WrestleMania 32, making a WrestleMania scratch ticket game available starting Monday, November 16th, with revenues supporting Texas public schools. The new game gives fans a chance to instantly win more than $10 million in prizes, including top prizes of $25,000, and the opportunity to enter one of 4 promotional second chance drawings with prizes that include trips to WrestleMania, VIP all-access experiences at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, and of course, replica world title championship belts. When we found out that WrestleMania 32 was taking place in Dallas, we knew we wanted to be involved, said Gary Grief, executive director of the Texas Lottery. And he comments on saying, "But we are excited about this opportunity and believe this partnership will be an asset in generating revenue for Texas education. We're very excited that 2 of our close friends, WWE and Texas Lottery, have decided to enter into a partnership," said Dallas Cowboy Chief Brand Officer Charlotte Jones Anderson. "We've built a strong relationship with the Texas Lottery over the years and are encouraging to see WWE replicate the same success as we lead up to hosting WrestleMania 32 at the AT&T Stadium on April 3rd, 2016. We are proud to partner with the Texas Lottery, a long-standing and valuable Cowboys partner, and help generate substantial funds for the education programs in Texas, says Stephanie McMahon, WWE Chief Brand Officer. This new partnership will not only provide fans with a chance to instantly win cash prizes, but an opportunity to win exclusive once-in-a-lifetime WWE experiences. As a part of the agreement, Texas Lottery will be a promotional partner for WrestleMania 32, which includes integration of at WrestleMania Access, all 4-day events, interactive fan festival, presence at WWE Live events leading up to WrestleMania, as well as custom digital and social media activations across WWE platforms. There are a total of 5 WrestleMania scratch tickets featuring WWE superstars and divas, including John Cena, Seth Rollins, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, the Bella Twins, and Paige. Fans that do not win instantly can enter their tickets into the promotional second chance drawings that will be held out through the duration of the program, which prizes include VIP WrestleMania ticket packages for 2 WrestleMania tickets, 2 tickets to VIP WrestleMania pre-party, 2 WrestleMania access tickets with VIP superstar autograph signings, 2 tickets to a private dinner with WWE legends, travel and accommodations. VIP trip to Performance Center, all access. A VIP trip for 2 to the WWE Performance Center in Orlando. This world-class training facility serves as a home to the NXT, the training ground for WWE superstars and the divas of the future. Throughout this day-long immersive experience, winners will tour the facility, interact with NXT superstars and coaches, watch exclusive live matches, and participate in private NXT live events, autographs, photos, and merchandise, travel, and accommodations. WWE merchandise such as replica title belts. Tickets to WrestleMania 32 will go on sale Friday, November 6th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. WrestleMania 32 will take place Sunday, April 3rd, 2016 at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas, and will be broadcast live around the world on the WWE Network. And get it for how much? $9.99. Over the past 7 years, WrestleMania has generated more than $500 million in cumulative economic impact for the cities that have hosted the event. WrestleMania is more than just a one-day event. It's a week-long celebration as WWE will take over the Dallas region during WrestleMania week. In addition to WrestleMania 32, all other activities will include WrestleMania Access for WWE's 4-day interactive fan festival at the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center, WWE NXT at the Convention Center Arena, and of course the Hall of Fame ceremony at the American Airlines Center, and of course Monday Night Raw at the American Airlines Center, and more than a dozen activities designed to give back to the host community, including Be a Star, anti-bullying rallies, hospital visits, and Make-A-Wish events. Additional info on these events will be announced in the future at www.wrestlemania.com. Beginning November 6th in Texas, you can strike up a pro wrestling conversation with the A-Hole, holding up the convention store line as he purchases an assortment of 65 scratch-off tickets. That's a joke. Another two-man power trip wrestling podcast with Santino Marella, hosted by John and Chad. Again, the tmptow.podomatic.com was playing Santina at WrestleMania 27 and competing in the Divas match, detrimental to his character. I'm always up for a challenge, and when you get a role like that, some people would be concerned, like, oh God, this is the end of his career because once you dress like a woman, that's it. I thought I was going to do a good job and knock this out of the park, do a good job, and kind of reverse the joke. Well, like if the joke was supposed to be on me, well, I did a good job. It's like I got praise for it. I know the girls were pissed, but I was given the job by the boss, and you just have to do the best you can. Having heat with the Divas locker room for taking a spot, I guess the girls always have something to prove in regards to their place in the industry because they want to be viewed more and more these days that they are very technical and very smart. They are awesome performers, but they have that unspoken association to back in the day when it was just like a hot chick. So they are constantly working hard to gain respect in the industry. At that time, I wasn't making a joke out of women's wrestling, but I was in women's wrestling and making a joke. But it wasn't about women's wrestling. It was more about Santino. I hope the girls were able to distinguish between the two because they are an integral part of our show and they do the exact same stuff that the men do. As they travel, they work out and take bumps. They do exact same stuff as men do. Being paired with Emma briefly, at that point I was pretty established, and she was pretty up and coming young girl, and was really sweet and very funny. It was kind of for her to get her going, but she was just taking the ball and running with it. Creating the Cobra finisher, there was a guy who showed me this Cobra move a long time ago at a bar in Japan, and I just did it one time and tried it in a match. I asked John Cena to watch and tell me what he thought of it when I came back because the crowd laughed immediately when I did it. We kept it, and it just took off on a life of its own. And it's an entertaining move. It's a little bit silly, but the people love it, and so you got to give them what they love. Is John Cena the leader of the locker room or the captain of the ship? Well, he definitely was the locker room leader. But what happens is when guys like get their own bus, they are not in the locker room anymore. He has his own bus. Randy has a bus. Big Show has got a bus, and you literally don't see them in the locker room because they have a different bus. But on the European tours, he's still in the locker room. But that being said, he was definitely the locker room leader. At least I saw him like that. And the reason I saw him there was because of his work ethic. And he's just a good guy. Really good principles and morals and values. Just a stand-up guy as he works so damn hard. You cannot be an inspired that this guy could just go and go and go and go and not complain or whine, and he leads by example, and that is what a real locker room leader is supposed to be. Do superstars that have the private buses feel above being in the locker room? No. If anyone could afford it, they will have one too. It's an investment in your career. You are prolonging your career because they have high qualities mattresses, and they sleep on the same one every night. They've got their fridge and their kitchen so they can make their smoothies, and they can take care of their nutrition better than us because we actually have to search around for an IHOP and get some egg whites. If John Cena or Randy Orton are putting asses in seats in which I am benefiting from because I am on the same show, well, then I want my stars and my headliners and main events to be healthy because the more they put asses in seats, the more I get paid. That's the opinion of the wrestlers in the locker room. If you take care of the guy in the main event, then he has some leeway because he's feeding your family. Were Santino and Vladimir Kozlov underused by WB in singles as a tag team? Was I underused? No. I was on TV for many, many years, and yes, I was a tough guy, but I'm also 5'10", and I know you can have badass matches. Badasses at that size that could kick everyone's ass, like Benoit and Malenko and Eddie. They were the tough guys, and they had the ability, and Kurt Angle for sure. Kozlov was such of a monster that it was actually not going to be believable because I can't do anything to him. He's a monster. He's a 300-pounder, ripped Sambo machine, and if at one point in a match I'm going to be on him, and I have the advantage that it looks like fake, it looks fake because I can't hurt this guy. Guys like Shelton Benjamin, with what he did, when you have any offense in a match, it looked like just your turn because it was so obvious that he could easily dominate you physically because of his physical abilities. But I think pro wrestling is evolving to a point where we can utilize these guys now that they have this shoot background, because guys are doing triangle chokes and arm locks and chimeras. They are able to work a little more realistically with Kozlov every time there was a big monster like Rusev or Kozlov. Once they lose, it's just like a glow stick that doesn't glow anymore. It's just a stick. It's tough to keep these monster guys fresh once they have lost, because they lose their whole mystique. Former WWE and TNA wrestlers Matt Morgan and Sean DeVary are competing in bodybuilding competitions. Morgan competed in October 10th NPC Southeastern competition and placed 4th out of 16 competitors, and you can view the competition on Twitter, BP Matt Morgan. Meanwhile, DeVary competed the same weekend in the Lauren Powers Classic Fitness competition in California. DeVary didn't place in the top 3 photos competition. Visit twitter.com/Sean DeVary. Morgan retired from the ring to spend more time with his family. His wife is also a bodybuilder, and it appears that he plans to enter more competition as well. Meanwhile, DeVary is still accepting independent pro wrestling booking, presumably on his Twitter page. What you've all been waiting for, not Raw, but it's Superstars results. First set of report is brief. Fandango defeated Heath Slater. Cody Rhodes defeated Zack Ryder. During the match, the ring crew covered the ring for the Susan G. Komen logo on the ramp, as well as the stage, and it looks like they're setting up for a special entrance to start off Raw. Second report. As Fandango defeated Heath Slater in a one-on-one action to kick off the event in Dallas. The match was given only a few minutes in the end. It was Fandango who managed to score the pinfall victory. Cody Rhodes defeated Zack Ryder in the second of the 2 matches taped for this weekend's Superstars. During the match, the ring crew recovered the Susan G. Komen logo on the ramp on the stage, appearing to set up some special entrances or camera shots for Raw. In the match itself, Stardust ended up scoring the W after hitting Ryder with his finisher. Raw kicked off with Michael Cole welcoming us to Raw. We go right to the ring. Out comes Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin. Remember, he's got that gimmick, DTA. Don't trust Austin. No, don't trust anyone. Well, he said he wasn't going to be on Raw. Well, guess what? He was. And just like I predicted, yeah, he was also at the end of Raw, as they were doing the satellite setup for the network. Or what have you. Not satellite feed, but the network feed. Austin talked about starting his career in Dallas, such as world-class championship wrestling. As he also faced The Rock there, and he gets some hell yes from WrestleMania 32. If you want Austin at WrestleMania, give me a hell yeah. Of course, they did that. Then he plugged Brock Lesnar podcast on the network. Also says he's going to introduce a man he's got a lot of respect for. Austin gets the proper treatments for this segment, but works it right away and introduces none other than The Undertaker, who comes out to another big pop as Stone Cold leaves. Taker takes a mic and addresses Brock Lesnar, saying that they have one last battle to fight. Taker calls him son and tells him to listen. Taker says the gates of hell will look like the gates of heaven compared to where Taker will take Lesnar on Sunday at Hell in a Cell. Cue Brock Lesnar's music, and out he comes with Paul Heyman. Lesnar says nothing. Heyman and Lesnar stop on the stage for a moment. Heyman speaks and introduces himself. He says Lesnar is going into the cell to avenge the bad win at SummerSlam, and Taker is going to avenge the fact that Lesnar conquered the streak. Heyman says Lesnar will get revenge on Sunday, and Taker will be forced to learn what it's like to live or die with a tainted legacy. A legacy of dominance over everyone except Lesnar, the man who took everything from Taker. Fans booed. Taker says that that's where their problem is. Because when you take everything from a man, he fights with nothing to lose. Taker has removed his jacket and hat now. There's a classic hat thing. He motions for Lesnar. He comes to the ring. Heyman doesn't want him to. Heyman starts to walk back. Lesnar teases to walk back, but then walks to the ring himself. And they have a stare down. Lesnar hops on the apron as the fans boo. Heyman is screaming at Lesnar not to go in and just wait, because they're not making any money from it. Lesnar backs off the apron as the fans boo. Lesnar laughs at Taker as he backs away with Heyman. Taker cuts his throat. Thing. As the music hits as the lights go low. Still to come, John Cena and the Dudleys versus the New Day in 6-man action. Was advertised for later. Well, that was your first match. Back for the Ray outcomes first. Your U.S. champion, John Cena to a pop. Well, New Day were out next with a promo. They say that they're like unicorns because they have brought back magic to WWE. They also take shots at the Dallas Cowboys. Bubba Ray Dudley starts off with Kofi Kingston and Lowe's. Well, but before that, I'll give when the Dudleys' entrance came and there was a big bang from the pyro, John Cena was scared shitless because he jumped in the middle of the ring. He's like, is that something going over his head? Well, back to Bubba Ray, starting things off with Kofi Kingston and Lowe's. The rights and lefts, Bubba gets a splash. Bubba right hands and a big elbow drop on Kofi. And yes, it's Macho Man style. Devon tags in for some double teaming. We go to commercial with the New Day regrouping at ringside. Back from the break, New Day has Cena in the corner, stopping away. They keep Cena down and tag in and out. Kofi gets a 2 count on Cena. Fan chant for Cena, but Xavier Woods comes in and keeps control for a 2 count. Big E tags in and nails Cena in the gut before dancing around. Big E then catches Cena for a side stab, but dances before dropping him. 2 count by Big E. Big E keeps control and drops Cena with a shoulder for a 2 count. Devon finally gets a hot tag and unloads on Woods. Kofi comes in, but Devon clotheslines him. Devon drops Woods and covers, but Big E broke the pinfall. Bubba comes in and drops him. They go to the floor and melee breaks out. Big E sends Bubba into the ring post. Cena leaps off the top and takes out Big E on the floor. Devon's distracted, and which allows Xavier to roll Woods up from behind for the win. As a surprise, what just happened? Devon, look. After the match, New Day celebrates until Cena and the Dudleys come back in the ring and attack them. They clear the ring, and Cena hits an attitude adjustment on Woods, while Kofi and Big E look on for the ramp. And they do the kick the table thing. Devon brings in the table in the ring, and Cena helps Devon lift Woods into a bubble bomb through the table. Cena and the Dudley celebrate as we go to replays. Announcers say Randy Orton missed the weekend live events in Mexico and he is not at Raw tonight. The injury could have been done by the Wyatt family, as we see Dean Ambrose backstage talking to Finlay and others as we go to commercial. Renee Young is also backstage with Dean Ambrose. He says that the Wyatt family did get to Orton and injured him. Ambrose isn't waiting until Sunday. He wants to fight tonight, and nothing will get in his way as he storms off. Next up, we got Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Alicia Fox and Nikki Bella. We go to the ring. Out comes Team Bella, Alicia Fox and Brie, and Nikki. Team Bad is out next with Sasha Banks, Tamina, and Naomi. Sasha and Alicia started off by going at it with some good back and forth. Sasha took control. Naomi got him in a big move in the corner for a 2 count as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Alicia slams Naomi for a 2 count. Nikki comes in for some double teaming and a 2 count. During the break, Nikki took control with an Alabama slam. Nikki got control, keeps control with Naomi down. Naomi fights up, but Nikki cuts her off. Naomi with kicks and knees. Nikki drops her with kicks of her own. Nikki with a drop kick on the mat. Nikki chokes Naomi on the floor on the rope. Alicia gets a cheap shot. Naomi finally turns it around in the corner. Sasha reaches for a tag, but Nikki cuts Naomi off. Sasha finally gets a tag and unloaded on Nikki. Back and forth. Brie distracted Naomi. She turns around to a spine buster for Nikki. Nikki decks Sasha with a cheap shot. Naomi slides out of a rack attack. Naomi misses in the corner and smacks her head on the turnbuckle. Nikki delivers a rack attack for the win. A look at last week's Raw with Kane and Seth Rollins segment. Letting you know that Corporate Kane is suspended from Raw for this week. We see Triple H and Shawn Michaels backstage talking. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we see a group of breast cancer survivors in the crowd after they play a Rise Above Cancer video for Susan G. Komen. And by the way, at the beginning of Raw, about 4 or 5 of the Dallas Cowboys were shown at ringside. We go to the ring. Out comes WF Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels to a big pop. HB Shizzle gets another pop as he hits the ring and apologizes to a fan for taking a bite of pizza on the way to the ring and says he was starving. He talks about being inside Hell in a Cell and how he was in the first Hell in a Cell. He jokes he's been in the head a lot and can't remember who he was in there with. The fans remind him it was The Undertaker. HBK Shizzle says 18 years later, Taker is stepping into the Hell in a Cell to face Brock Lesnar. He believes this will be the last time. He talks about the other cell match, Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. HBK believes those 2 matches will tear the house down on Sunday. He's interrupted by music of World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, who makes his way to the ring. They come face to face in the middle of the ring, and Rollins asks what the hell Shawn is doing out there. Rollins says HB Shizzle was supposed to come out and introduce him for the start of the second hour of Raw. HBK says he was given instructions in the back for 20 years, and when he got to the ring, they were gone. So he decided to come out and have fun with the fans until Rollins came out and ruined it. Rollins reminded him that his friend Triple H is the boss. Rollins says Taker, Lesnar, Wyatt, and Reigns are old news. HBK should be talking about the guy people call Shawn Michaels version 2. Rollins says he's got a lot better than the original, and HBK should be talking about him. HBK says he would be a billionaire if he had a nickel for every guy that was supposed to be the next Shawn Michaels. HBK says it's funny that Rollins had so many others aspire to be the next HBK. He says it never occurred to him in his career that he wanted to be the second coming of anybody. But Rollins is perfectly fine with being HBK 2.0. HBK says he was too busy becoming the greatest wrestler. HBK then brings up Kane. Rollins fires back and says he was a fan of Shawn's since the Rockers, but now he thinks Shawn's jealous because Rollins had a WrestleMania moment this year that eclipsed all of HBK's. Rollins says he's done and he yells for his music to be played. Well, it doesn't start, and he is yelling about being the champ. HBK says when you're 2.0, it's hard to get things like that done. When you're the original, it's not. HBK reveals Rollins versus Ryback was up next, and then calls for his music to be played, and it starts up. HBK then dances away to a pop from the crowd as Rollins looks upset. As we go to commercial, we got Ryback versus Seth Rollins non-title match. Back from the break, Seth Rollins waits as Ryback makes his way out to a pop. Ryback took control first as they go at it. Rollins fights back, but Ryback chopped him down. Ryback held Rollins in the air and dropped him in a vertical suplex. Rollins rolls to the floor for a breather as Phoebe Moore chants for Ryback. Ryback then slams Rollins to the apron. Ryback presses Rollins, but he slides out, shoves Ryback into the apron. And then the steps. Rollins nails a big dive to the floor and brings it back in the ring. Ryback finally turns it around with a big back body drop. Rollins ends up blocking Shell Shock and hits an enziguri. Ryback nails a spine buster. Ryback ready for the meat hook clothesline, but Rollins rolls to the apron. Rollins blocks a shot and nails a pedigree for the win. Well, seems to me they just went on for the finish. To eliminate some time. Announces reveal Dean Ambrose has asked for a handicap match and will get it against Braun Strowman and Luke Harper tonight. Well, don't think Luke Harper was there. Then he gets Eric Rowan instead. Back to commercial. We're going to look back at Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker earlier We get a replay of special referee Summer Rae helping Dolph Ziggler defeat Rusev on SmackDown and then get dissed. Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, and Neville versus Rusev. King Barrett, Sheamus was up next. We go to the ring. Out comes Ziggler. Cesaro was out next as Ziggler grabbed the Cesaro second sign and held it up. Their partner Neville was out next. Back to commercial. Back from the break. King Barrett was out first, followed by Rusev, then Sheamus. Rusev starts things off with Neville as they go at it. Neville starts working on the arm. Neville with kicks. Rusev shoves Neville to the corner and splashes him. Rusev catches a crossbody, but Neville lands on his feet and takes Rusev down. Neville with a big kick and attacks Cesaro. Cesaro slams Rusev and takes control. He whips Rusev in the corner and tags in Neville before hitting a running uppercut. Neville came in with a running splash and a 2 count. Sheamus got a tag and goes at it with Neville. Sheamus floored Neville and tagged in Barrett. Barrett worked over Neville, got a 2 count. Rusev tags back in and they keep Rusev down. It's a fan chant USA. Rusev runs into an uppercut. Neville delivers more kicks. Rusev beats him down in the corner. Rusev runs into another big kick. Neville goes up top, but Sheamus distracts him. Neville gets knocked face first into the announcer table. Sheamus runs over him, and as Ziggler and Cesaro come over as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Rusev has Neville down. Barrett comes back in and stops Neville from tagging. Barrett with a headlock. Neville manages to dump Barrett over the top rope. Sheamus tags in and makes Ziggler jump off the apron before tagging in. Cesaro finally gets a tag and knocks Rusev off the apron. Hits a running uppercuts in the corner on Sheamus. More uppercuts to get a big pop. Cesaro hits a big boot and goes goes to the top for a crossbody and a 2 count. Sheamus blocks the Cesaro swing, and then Cesaro knocks Barrett off the apron. Sheamus slams Cesaro. Barrett and Ziggler finally get the tags and go at it. Ziggler with a neck breaker and a big elbow drop for a 2 count. Rusev runs in, but Ziggler ends up dumping him to the floor. Barrett ducks a Famouser and rolls Ziggler up for a 2 count. He comes back and barely hits a Famouser for a 2 count. Barrett blocks a super kick. Ziggler blocks the Winds of Change with a 2 count. Ziggler nailed the super kick for a 2 count. And then Sheamus breaks up the pinfall. Cesaro knocks Sheamus to the floor. Rusev knocks Cesaro to the floor. Neville sends Rusev to the floor and then jumps onto everyone. Ziggler then rolled Barrett up for a 2 count. Sheamus then bro kick from the floor to Ziggler, who is leaning on the middle rope in the ring as Barrett took advantage and got the win. Then we see Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels backstage talking. Back to commercial. We come back. Ric Flair's in the ring. He's botching this segment as he doesn't even know he's on the air. Oh, we on yet? He talks about the history of Dallas. Plugs WrestleMania 32. Finally. Does his woo and all that. Flair reveals that Roman Reigns will be teaming with Dean Ambrose tonight and starts dancing, doing his little thing. Reigns, his man, Roman Reigns' music hits and out he comes to the crowd. Reigns hits the ring. Flair leaves. He does a little promo. The Wyatt family appears at ringside after the lights go out. Reigns thanks Flair for speaking to the scum at ringside. A returning Eric Rowan is out instead of Luke Harper, with Bray Wyatt and with Bray. It says all 4 of them were out there. Reigns, but I didn't see Luke Harper there. Reigns brought 2 chairs in the ring, sets them up. Well, he calls Wyatt in the ring and tells them to have a seat so they can talk. Reigns says Wyatt is a bully, and he gets off on that. Reigns knows Wyatt is scared to be in the ring with him. He can see it in his eyes. Reigns wants to talk about Hell in a Cell. Reigns says Wyatt should be very afraid of him. This leads to a big fight as the lights come on. Yeah, they were sitting in chairs when they came on. Reigns fights all of them off with a steel chair. Wyatt grabs a chair, but Reigns nails him with one. Dean Ambrose ends up running down, standing tall with Reigns as the Wyatts escape retreat. We get a backstage segment with the Authority, Rollins and Shawn Michaels. Rollins fires back at HBK and cuts him off, saying he's not going to let HBK talk him talk to him like that again. Rollins says he's going out to stop the show, like he always does. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Coleslaw reveals it will be the Wyatt versus the Shield in the main event. Charlotte versus Brie Bella. Back from the break, Brie Bella awaits in the ring as Becky Lynch and the Divas champion make their way out. Then Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox are at ringside, back and forth to start. We see Paige watching backstage. Charlotte nails a big boot and a 2 count. She tosses Brie to the floor in front of Team Bella and challenges Nikki to come in. Brie comes back in with kicks and fights her way in. Charlotte turns it around and mounts her in the corner with right hands. Nikki jumps on the apron with the Divas title and distracts Charlotte, allowing Brie to turn around. Brie talks trash and works Charlotte over. Nikki yells at her to finish Charlotte. Becky goes into Brie mode and hits the knee for a 2 count. Brie keeps Charlotte grounded as Becky tries to rally. Brie nails a bulldog for a 2 count. Brie stays in control and hits another bulldog as Team Bella looks on. Brie with kicks, and while fans chant yes with them, Daniel Bryan style, and Charlotte catches a kick and nails a clothesline. Charlotte with another, and then does a woo chops as Brie ends up tapping out to the figure 8. After the match, Charlotte and Becky leave as an unhappy Nikki looks on. We see Paige watching backstage as Renee Young approaches. She brings up the attack on Natalya last week. Paige says it's been rough, but Team PCB turned a corner last week. Paige tries to play everything off, but Renee isn't having it. She also apologized for whatever. And then Paige says that she says that Paige is the prime suspect for who attacked Natalya on SmackDown, and asked her about it. Paige tries to dodge the question, and Renee calls her out. Paige says everyone has a grudge in the Divas division, and it could be anyone from Sasha Banks to Lana, to Caitlyn, to Eve Torres, to Trish Stratus, Lita, Alundra Blaze. As their tweets have been going back and forth. Paige talks about Alundra talking trash on social media. Renee continues to press her as Paige takes a shot and says she's not as cute or as good as Fox's Erin Andrews. Paige walks off as we go to commercial. Next up, we've got Mark Henry versus Kevin Owens. Back from the break, out comes Mark Henry, and Kevin Owens was out next for this non-title match. Owens talks trash and mocks Henry for being from Texas, which gets booed. Henry decks him and tosses him to the floor. Henry follows and works Owens over before rolling him back in. Owens meets him and stomps away. Henry turns it around and works Owens in the corner briefly. Henry chokes Owens and whips him hard into the opposite corner. Henry yells for Owens to get up. Henry whips Owens into another corner, and he stumbles into the other corner. Then Henry nails a splash and talks trash. Owens does a super kick and then catches Henry in a pop-up power bomb for the win. After the match, Owens holds the title over Henry and talks trash to him. Owens raises the title until Ryback's music hits, and out he comes. Ryback hits the rings, and Owens retreats to the floor. Henry comes from behind and throws Owens back into the ring. Ryback nails a power bomb. Ryback gets the Feed Me More chant going before leaving with Henry. And we get hype for Hell in a Cell on the WWE Network. JBL does his monthly knock on WWE fans who still purchase events on the standard pay-per-view for $59.95, $49.95, whatever it is. Seth Rollins was walking backstage when Renee Young called up with him, asked about the Shield reuniting tonight. Rollins says this is not about the Shield reuniting. That's not what it is. This is about him proving to Shawn Michaels and everyone else that when he's the man, he's the man. Rollins threatens to destroy his former partners again and walks off. Back to commercial. Well, I was predicting exactly what happened in this. Seth Rollins just left the match. We get a lengthy video package for Lesnar versus Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, still to come segment. Wyatt versus Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns. Back to commercial. Rusev, Sheamus, and Barrett versus Neville, Ziggler, and Cesaro was announced for Hell in a Cell pre-show. Orton and Ambrose versus Harper and Strowman has been pulled. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. Both teams were out as we get ready. Luke Harper was not here tonight. They come face to face, and Rollins stands behind him, behind his team. He finally steps forward and stands with them to a big pop. Rollins starts talking down to his partners able to get the bell ringing. Finally gets some action as Reigns and Rowan go at it. Rowan drops Reigns with a shoulder but gets rocked with the right hand. Reigns turns around and tags in Ambrose for some double teaming. Rowan turns around, tags in Wyatt. Wyatt works over Ambrose until Rollins comes in and unloads on the corner. Rollins smashes Wyatt, turns around to a boot, and in the next attempt, Rollins gets dropped over Wyatt's knee and out to the floor to regroup. Ambrose taunts him as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Reigns fights out of Rowan hold. Braun and Ambrose tag in at the same time. Ambrose unloads on Braun, grabs him by the throat, tosses him over the top. Ambrose hangs on and drops Braun on the top rope. Ambrose with a missile drop kick, but Braun is still on his feet. Ambrose charges, but Braun knocks him to the mat with a big impact. Wyatt tags in and beats on Ambrose. Wyatt with a 2 count. Rowan comes back in and drops a big knee for a 2 count. Rowan keeps control and hits elbow to Ambrose's lower back for a 2 count. Rowan with a side slam and another 2 count. Braun comes in and keeps Ambrose down before Wyatt comes back in. Wyatt unloads on Ambrose for a 2 count. Wyatt breaks Ambrose down with a headlock as fans chant for Ambrose. Ambrose fights out, but Wyatt grabs him for Sister Abigail. It's blocked. Wyatt misses a splash in the corner. Ambrose goes for a tag, but Braun yanks Reigns off the apron and throws him into the barrier. Wyatt runs into the boots from Ambrose. Ambrose with a missile drop kick. Ambrose finally gets a hot tag to Rollins, but he hops off the apron and leaves with a supposedly a knee injury. Rowan takes a big boot and a forearm. Reigns unloads on Rowan in the corner as fans count along. Reigns hits a drive-by on Rowan. Reigns knocks Strowman into the announcer's table and nails Samoa drop on Rowan. And then Reigns hits a Superman punch on Rowan, but Braun breaks a 2 count. Ambrose attacks Braun, but Braun throws him to the floor. Braun grabs Ambrose and starts choking him out. Ambrose comes in with a kendo stick for the DQ after the bell. Ambrose unloaded on Strowman with a kendo stick. Strowman takes it, but gets bumped to the floor. Ambrose goes for the big dive, but Braun catches him. Braun slams Ambrose hard on the floor. Wyatt and Rowan come over, but they beat on Ambrose. Reigns does a huge leap from the ring and takes out the Wyatts. Reigns then brings Bray in the ring as a fan chat. This is awesome. Reigns nails a spear on Wyatt, also taking out Rowan. Braun pulls Bray to safety as Reigns spears Rowan. Ambrose and Reigns stand tall in the ring as Reigns' music hits. Rowan, Braun, Wyatt make their exit. And we see Brock Lesnar and Stone Cold sitting down backstage as Raw goes off the air. Thanks again for watching. Peace out. God bless. See one bad baby. If you didn't know, you better call me, bro.